BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, we're back. I'm excited for this card, man. I've been waiting for this card. Anytime Poatan is fighting, this guy might be my new favorite fighter. That guy's just an animal. I just love the way he fights. So exciting. And anytime you put Poatan on a card, I mean, he does never, ever disappoints, win or lose. I mean, the guy's insane, man. I'm super, super pumped for this one. I feel like this is the card that should have been on the Sphere. They should have had Poatan fighting Roundtree at the Sphere. I mean, in the last 6 months, he's already had 2 title fights, 2 vicious knockouts, and he's probably going to get a nice third one here. Let's get into it. So we got Pereira taking on Khalil Roundtree Jr. Should have been Magomed Ankalaev, obviously, but apparently Ankalaev didn't take the fight, refused the fight, or maybe the UFC just wants Poatan. Either way, this is not a bad fight. Khalil can bang. Khalil's a very good striker. He's got some big wins. He's coming off a big win over Anthony Smith. No matter what Henry Cejudo and Usman say, they're saying Anthony beat Khalil. I think they got to get their facts right on that one, because Anthony Smith got viciously KO'd by Khalil, and he put his hand up like he's gonna give him a hammer fist from death. But the refs stepped in and saved his life there. Chris Daukaus, the guy from heavyweight, came down. Kyle Daukaus' brother got viciously knocked out by Khalil. So, okay, and then he had a split decision win over Dustin Jacoby, who is another glory kickboxer, super high-level striker himself. So he's beat some decent guys. The only thing is, to those people who think Khalil is going to win or has a chance, I mean, anything can happen, but he's not beating the same level of competition. He knocked out Anthony Smith, okay? He knocked out Chris Daukaus. He beat Dustin Jacoby in a split decision. None of those guys are on the level of a Yuri Prochazka, of a Izzy Adesanya, Sean Strickland, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill. These are top guys. And Poatan's going out there and literally leveling these guys. And what I really like about Poatan at 205, he's not cutting that much weight, right? So, not as much weight as he was at 185. And he looked like he couldn't even absorb a shot at 185. Compared to 205, he seems to really be able to absorb some shots, right? I think he can literally just hang in the pocket compared to because that Izzy Adesanya fight, he came in there a little reckless. He felt he hurt Izzy, came in there a little reckless and got caught, right? So if he doesn't make any mistakes like that, and at 205 he can absorb the strike better, I don't know where Khalil's going to be winning here. I think, and even Khalil said, people are saying, oh, what if Khalil tries to wrestle? And even Khalil says he's never even attempted a takedown. Even if he does, let's say he just says that, right? And even if he does, Khalil Roundtree is not the same level of grappler as a Jan Blachowicz, as a Yuri Prochazka. Those guys are all much better grapplers than Khalil Roundtree, and they couldn't really do much to Poatan on the ground. Poatan is a black belt under Glover. Take that however you want it. Obviously, he's not very much of a jiu-jitsu guy, but I've seen him roll. His, if he just, in his guard, he just grabs your wrist, you can't even get your wrist back. I was watching some of his rolls, he just grabs people's wrists and they can't even punch him. It's insane how strong this guy is. This is the guy right here, Alex Poatan. If he can beat Khalil, and then the next fight, say they give him Ankalaev. If he beats Ankalaev, now you got to bring this guy up to heavyweight. And I want to see the winner of, if John Jones beats Stipe and he beats Aspinall, now you're talking Poatan, John Jones maybe, or Poatan, Aspinall if John retires. dude, sky's the limit for Poatan right now, man. He is insane. I can't wait for this fight, man. This is going to be super exciting. Khalil Roundtree, everyone's got a puncher's chance, but dude, you're going against the best striker in the world, Poatan. He doesn't make any mistakes, really. So technical. And, Khalil being a southpaw, he does sometimes leave himself open to that left hook, and he throws a little wild. He likes to throw overhands and hooks. And Poatan, his left hook is deadly. If he comes in there, Khalil sometimes leaves himself open for that left hook. I hope he does in this fight, because Poatan's got one of the most nastiest left hooks in the game. So I'm going all in. Not all in, but, he's a huge favorite, minus 550, as he should be. So, Poatan should easily get that W there. We got Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena, co-main event. This is a horrible co-main event. Not a fan of this fight at all. But for picks purposes, I will take Juliana Pena. But if she's not able to get Raquel down, Raquel is the better striker out of the two. So this is Juliana's fight to get to the ground. If she's able to get it to the ground, she could probably win that fight. But I am not a fan of that fight whatsoever. But this fight, on the other hand, Jose Aldo, still doing the damn thing. Age 38, taking on Mario Bautista. Jose Aldo, he's been looking pretty good, man. He was a big underdog going into the Jonathan Martinez fight in Brazil. And, he won that fight. And his last loss is to the champ, Merab Dvalishvili. And that's a different style than Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista likes to go in there and strike. Does have a nice little win over Ricky Simone, his last win, but I'm going to go with Jose Aldo on this one. I'm going to go with the underdog. I think he's a better striker to the two, even though he's age 38. I know he's getting up there, but the guy seems to be doing pretty good, man, and I got to go with Jose Aldo on that one. Ketlin Vieira taking on Kayla Harrison. Jesus, minus 900. Well, I think who everyone is taking on this fight, and clear the UFC wants Kayla Harrison fighting for that title. I mean, who do you want as your champion, Raquel Pennington or Kayla Harrison, undefeated? Or sorry, I don't know if she might have actually one loss. Yeah, she actually does have that one loss to what's her face, Pacheco. But yeah, 17-1. That's, if she wins this, you got to give her the title shot, man. And she's gonna crush Ketlin Vieira. Her grappling is just far superior than Ketlin Vieira's, so that should be easy victory for Kayla Harrison. Now this fight, I've been going back and forth on who's gonna win this fight. Roman Dolidze taking on Kevin Holland. Now, if this fight stays standing, I'm going to favor Kevin Holland. I think he's a better striker of the two. If this fight goes to the ground, now I'm leaning a bit towards Roman Dolidze. And he's a little bigger, stronger, and better grappler than Kevin Holland. The question is he going to be able to get it to the ground? Now, he's coming off a win over Anthony Smith. Is Dolidze, went up to 205. That's a pretty, nice win. And Kevin Holland, on the other hand, got a nice little armbar over Mikhail Olokowicz. Yeah, this one is going to be tough to call. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland. I think he's going to be just faster, and hopefully he can stuff the takedowns. Hopefully he's working on that takedown defense. And Roman Dolidze is not the very best striker. He's a little slow, in my opinion, and needs to be a little more crisp on the feet, but this one is a toss-em up because Dolidze can win this fight. Dolidze is for real. He's got some big wins, beat Jack Hermanson. Beat Kyle Dawkins, who actually I'm pretty sure beat Kevin Holland, beat Phil Hawes. He's got some pretty decent wins, but styles make fights. So I'm just leaning towards Holland. Now, for your feature prelim of the night. Yes, you heard it, feature prelim. That is a little disrespectful probably towards Stephen Thompson and Joaquin Buckley, but where are they going to put them? I would probably say you could put them in position where Ketlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison are. I mean, Thompson and Joaquin Buckley probably earned that position over Ketlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison, but clearly they're trying to push Kayla Harrison in for that title shot, right? So there more views as the fight goes on, so they probably want more eyeballs on Kayla Harrison, the Olympian. But Stephen Thompson taking on Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley's a guy who likes to strike. I don't think he should be doing that this fight. He's a big, strong welterweight, but he does not want to strike with Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson's striking is unbelievable. Just ask Kevin Holland. He knocked out Kevin Holland. There was a TKO round 4, but he was beating up Kevin Holland pretty bad, man. And he does have a hard time with grapplers, does Stephen Thompson, right? Shavkat Rakhmonov choked him out. Bilal Muhammad out-grappled him. Gilbert Burns out-grappled him. But anytime you guys got like a Vicente Luque or Jeff Neal or Kevin Holland that want to go in there and strike with Wonder Boy, it ain't going to go so well. Unfortunately, Joaquin Buckley does have pretty decent takedowns. Big, strong guy for welterweight. And if, he can get to the clinch, he's going to be able to take Wonder Boy down. And that's what I'm a little worried about. Age 41, he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all as Wonder Boy. He still looks good. But the fact that Joaquin Buckley is very big, very strong, and is a better grappler out of the two, he's probably going to be able to take Stephen Thompson down and just, lay and pray, land some ground and pound from that top guard position. So I'm going to lean towards Buckley, but I feel like if this fight stays standing, that's Stephen Thompson's win all day. He's just way better on the feet than Buckley, but Buckley, be smart, take him down. Stephen Thompson has a horrible, horrible ground game. So yeah. Up next, we got Cesar Almeida taking on Ihor Pretoria. Only 6 pro fights, taking on a guy with 26 pro fights, and he's the guy who's minus 400. I don't know if I agree with that. So Cesar Almeida is a guy who I believe trains with Poatan now. They've actually fought a few times in kickboxing. I think Pereira won 1, and Cesar may have won 2. They fought a few times out in WGP and Super Combat Kickboxing, but that was a while ago. And Cesar Almeida, 36 years old, probably should be able to get it done against Ihor Pretoria, who's got I believe 3 losses in his last 4 fights. So I'll go with Cesar Almeida, but if Ihor can get Cesar to the ground, I think that's his way to victory. But plus 300, geez. Huge underdog. Let's see here. Austin Hubbard taking on Alex Hernandez. This is going to be actually a good one. I like this matchup. It's going to be pretty good here. So Austin Hubbard's the guy who, he did pretty good in the UFC for a bit. Then he got cut, had some fights on the regional circuit. I think it was Caged Aggression or something it was called. And now he went back to the Ultimate Fighter 31. He did pretty good on the Ultimate Fighter, won some fights, and then he lost in the finals to Kurt Hollebog. And, his last fight, he did get a win over Mad Dog Mikhail, who's pretty new to the UFC. But Alex Hernandez, he's got much more experience in the UFC compared to the last guy. But Alex Hernandez, check this out. He's got 4 losses in his last 5 fights, man. 4 losses in your last 5 fights. The only win was over Jim Miller, who's age 50 now. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to go with Austin Hubbard because Alex Hernandez has not been looking good at all. So I'll go with Austin Hubbard on that one. And I believe Alex Hernandez is moving back up to 155 because his last few were at 145, I believe. Next, we got Ryan Spann taking on OSP. Man, these guys are in the early prelims. Jeez. These guys are OSP is the guy who he's had main events before, man. Now he's on the early prelims. That's pretty bad. And same with Ryan Spann. He's the guy who's had main events too, man. And now he's fighting on them prelims. Yeah, clearly the age here is OSP is, getting a little older now. I think, he did get a nice little win over Kennedy and Nzechukwu his last fight, but I just feel like Ryan Spann should get this one done. I know he's coming off 3 straight losses, is Ryan Spann, but if he loses to OSP here, he's gonna get cut. 4 straight losses. You gotta go now. So I'm gonna go with Ryan Spann. I think he should be able to get this one done against OSP, and this is probably gonna be the last time you see probably OSP 1 or 2, maybe more times. He's probably gonna hang it up after that one. The last fight I'm gonna touch on here is the Dirty Bird taking on the Crusher. Court McGee still doing the damn thing. And these guys have been fighting for a very long time. Sucks to see them on the prelims. A first fight on the prelims, and it sucks because no one's really going to be able to watch this fight except like the super hardcores. But it makes sense because let's say Court McGee, Tim Means here, he's got 4 losses in his last 5 fights, man. And his only win in that 5 fights was over Andre Fiala, who literally just got cut because he lost 5 or 6 straight losses. Like, just horrible performance. And Court McGee's pretty much in the same boat as the Tim Means. Like, he's got 3 straight losses. Both these guys have not been looking good, man. And I don't know whether they're just fighting for paychecks or what it is, but I don't know. Yeah, this fight could go either way. I'm sort of leaning towards Tim Means. I think he's the more technical striker out of the two. He's got a decent ground game as well. Court McGee just seems a little slow or not as crisp on the feet. But he's a dog, man. Court McGee is a dog, and he'll fight to the death. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Dirty Bird on that one. I think he should be able to get it done on the feet, but not fight. And it sucks to see these guys, on the prelims and stuff, because I believe they probably earned their right to be, a little later in the card. But this is a card that probably should have been on that Sphere card. I don't care if it was Noche or whatever, because the Mexicans didn't really come out to fight, man. Other than like Zellhuber and the other guy, but one of the guys was Argentinian. But yeah, this fight is gonna be absolute fireworks. I'm stoked for Pereira, man. Pereira's the guy, dude. He's the guy. It doesn't get much better of a striker than Alex Poatan Pereira. And I was seeing him training with Sean Strickland. I like that duo, man. That's a killer duo. Yeah, I hope if Alex Pereira's smart, he should probably get a little English speaking instructor just to help him with his English a bit. It doesn't need to be perfect, but if he can at least, sort of speak in English a bit, I think it'll help promote him more in the North American market, right? But clearly he's been doing just fine without it, and he's, in my opinion, the best striker in the UFC right now is Poatan, and Khalil Rountree's a very, very good striker himself, but unfortunately for him, he's fighting the big dog. Let's see these fight odds here. Money line, okay, so huge underdog. Yeah, they expect Poatan to crush him, as he probably should. But yeah, if you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. Let's make those picks. This is the card, fellas. This is the one. Let's make that money out.